Welcome back to the channel and coin collectors and history lovers. Today we are diving into one of the most iconic pieces of Australian decimal currency, the 1967 Australian 10-cent coin. As one of the first decimal coins issued after Australia switched from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents in 1966, this coin holds a very special place in numismatic history. Let's get started. To really appreciate the 1967 10-cent coin, we need to go back to the context of decimalization. On the 14th of February 1966, decimal currency day was officially introduced in Australia, replacing the old system of pound shillings and pence that had been inherited from Britain. This was a massive national change, requiring people to adapt to entirely new coin designs, values, and terminology. The 10-cent coin was introduced as a direct replacement for the old florin, which had been worth 2 shillings in pre-decimal currency. This made the transition smoother because the size and value were somewhat familiar to the public. By 1967, the system was settling in, and millions of Australians were carrying the new decimal coins in their pockets. So, the 1967 10-cent coin stands as one of the first full-year circulation coins of the decimal age, making it historically significant for collectors today. The obverse or head side of the 1967 10-cent coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth, as Australia is part of the Commonwealth. This portrait was designed by Arnold Machin, a British sculptor, and is often referred to as the Machin portrait. It shows a youthful Queen Elizabeth wearing a tiara with her hair swept back in a graceful and simple style around the outer edge. The legend reads, Elizabeth, Australia, 1967. This design was used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984, and it gives us a snapshot of the Queen early in her reign. For many Australians who grew up during this time, this is the Queen most familiar look, and it's a key part of the coin nostalgic value today. Now let's flip the coin over to its reverse. The 1967 10-cent coin proudly features the image of a superb lyrebird, one of Australia's most unique and famous native birds. This design was created by the brilliant artist Stuart Devlin, who became known as the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The lyrebird is shown standing gracefully with its incredible tail feathers fanning upward in an intricate and decorative pattern. The denomination 10 sits clearly to the left of the bird. Devlin designs for the decimal coins are still celebrated today for their balance of artistry and national identity, and the lyrebird has remained the symbol of the 10-cent coin ever since 1966. So when you look at the 1967 coin, you are holding the continuation of one of the most iconic designs in Australian currency history. The 1967 10-cent coin was struck in cupra nickel, which is an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition gives the coin its distinctive silver-like color while also providing durability against wear and corrosion. The coin has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, a thickness of 2.00 millimeters, and weighs 5.65 grams. These specifications match the old florin closely, which helped people get used to handling the new decimal coins without too much confusion. Because the coin was made of cupra nickel, it has a much higher quality feel compared to many modern coins which are now made of cheaper plated steel. Collectors today still appreciate the 1967 10-cent for its solid metal content and its connection to the early days of Australia decimal currency systems. When it comes to mintage, the 1967 10-cent coin was produced in very large numbers to ensure there were enough coins for everyday use. In total, over 83 million 10-cent coins were minted in 1967, which makes it one of the more common issues of the early decimal period. That being said, not all 83 million survive in high quality today. Most circulated heavily in everyday commerce, meaning the majority of surviving coins are scratched, worn, or tarnished. However, there were also proof versions struck by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, and these coins with their polished fields and frosted designs are much scarcer and highly prized by collectors. So while the standard circulation issue is not rare, finding a high-grade uncirculated example or a proof coin can be a real treasure. Now let's talk about what the 1967 10-cent coin is actually worth today. For heavily circulated examples, the coin is usually worth just its face value of 10 cents, maybe up to 50 cents to the right buyer if it's in decent condition. However, uncirculated coins, those that were never used and remain shiny with no wear, can fetch between $5 and $15 Australian dollars depending on quality. proof coins from 1967 are much more desirable and can sell for $40 to $80 or even more, especially if they are still in their original Royal Mint packaging. Additionally, error coins from 1967, such as missed strikes off center, strikes or clipped planchets, can sometimes sell for significantly higher prices, as error collectors are always looking for unusual varieties. So while the average 1967 10-cent coin might not make you rich, the right condition or error could definitely be worth keeping an eye out for. With such a high mintage, it's no surprise that a number of error coins and varieties exist for the 1967 10-cent piece. Some collectors report off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, giving the coin a strikingly unusual appearance. Others have found die cracks where small raised lines appear due to damage in the minting dies. There are also cases of planchette errors where the blank metal disc itself had flaws before striking. These types of errors are much rarer than regular coins, and they can bring significant premiums on the collector market. As with any error, the more dramatic and unusual it is, the more valuable the coin becomes. If you are building a collection, always examine your 1967 10-cent coins closely, because you never know if you might have a hidden gem. For collectors, the 1967 10-cent coin is significant not only for its historical context but also because it represents the early decimal coin series, which is one of the most popular areas of Australian numismatics. Many people who lived through decimalization keep these coins as souvenirs, and younger collectors seek them out to complete their decimal sets. The lyrebird design has become a cultural icon, and owning one of the early year issues feels like holding a piece of Australian history in your hand. Collectors often try to build complete year sets of decimal coins starting from 1966, which makes the 1967 10-cent an essential piece. Even though it's common, it's the story and symbolism behind the coin that make it such a collectible item. In conclusion, the 1967 Australian 10-cent coin may not be rare, but it is hugely important. It was only the second year of decimal coinage in Australia, and it carries with it all the history and significance of that dramatic currency changeover. With its beautiful lyrebird reverse by Stuart Devlin, the elegant Arnold Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth, and its strong cupra nickel composition, the 1967 10-cent remains a favorite among collectors. In circulated condition, it's usually worth just face value, but uncirculated and proof examples can command much higher prices, and rare errors can make this coin especially valuable. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1967 10-cent coin, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our future uploads. We have got more videos coming soon on coins from Australia, the UK, the US, and beyond. So stick around, and as always, happy collecting.